My guest today is the author, James Craig. I know him as a YouTuber mostly, and one of those people on Twitter, one of those people that says incendiary things, likes to lob bombs, and it's good.
I
It's
do
good. It keeps
not.
people paying attention.
I am very polite on Twitter. I haven't gotten banned once.
I've never been banned either. I think in the last 6 months, the first time I ever even got a strike, and it was really weird. What it was like complete euphemism that was misread, but whatever. At least I get to say I get a band now. I'm in the cool kids club. Uh, anyways,
Dude, Twitter is way, way too important to risk getting strikes on, man.
sometimes it certainly feels that way. I know Facebook's useless in the marketing game, like unless you're going to 50 and 60-year-olds, and I'm going to be honest, your cost to reach them is too high to make it worthwhile. But why don't you tell us a little bit about where you started and kind of how you got into this whole indie creator scene?
So, I'm James Craig. I'm an independently published author that recently started a YouTube channel, and it physically pains me that I'm known as a YouTuber, not as an author. The YouTube channel is to sell my books, and also to rant, I guess. Rant videos do really well. But so what I technically am, despite my wishes otherwise, is an engineer. And I have always wanted to be an author. That's been a dream forever. And I morphed that into becoming a cyberpunk author, as well as I also put awesome epic fantasy stuff on Royal Road for free. Because guess what? Sword and sandal sorcery stuff is a lot of fun. So the issue though is TradPub is broken, like fundamentally broken. And even though I say that TradPub is broken, that does not mean IndiePub works either. So the point of the conversation I see here is that forcing authors like me to wear every single hat in the business at once is a struggle. I'm not wildly successful with my book publishing, despite my efforts otherwise. I'm hoping that the grind continues up because I am getting increasing numbers. Numbers do go up. I do get the dopamine hit, but I would rather be a full-time creative, and it's just not how it works right now. I have to be here marketing. I have to be networking. I have to run a YouTube channel. I have to do book reviews. I run a book club. I grab onto YouTubers' books and review them, even if I think the YouTuber in question is a very bad writer. So it's an interesting time for entertainers trying to squeeze money out of a dying economy.
Well, what I tell people specifically is at least you're in one of the cheap ones. Like books are of a low cost to entry.
Cost of entry, yes. And if you ebooks are also cheap for the consumer to buy. You can get a lot of hours of content of entertainment for $3-4. I'm not the kind of guy that's going to sell a novella for $9. I don't do that. So as long as you can swing the cost of a cover editor, or I guess some people will do AI art nowadays, and then you have to solve the editing problem, and you have the time to do it, and you have the time to actually get good at the craft, which nobody should ever discount the amount of time it takes to actually get good before anyone is willing to give you their time. So yeah, so I started publishing maybe 2 years ago with my first book on Amazon. I also started my Royal Road series at the same time. And obviously I love the craft. What can I say? I just need to get my books in more people's hands.
So there's a couple things I wanted to key in there because this is also relating back to some of the conversations we had. Like one of the reasons I chose the Iron Age, and I know you have, I guess, a different opinion on what the Iron Age means. For me, it literally is just like,
Yeah, I don't brand myself as Iron Age for the record.
yeah, and that's
Every time
fine.
someone's made a video defining it, they've ruled me out for one reason or another.
You're a hipster. You just don't want to be a part of the cool kids club. That's all it is. I joke.
We can talk about definitions if you want.
Well, but for me, I just saw it as, and I'll take this, like, I consider myself an old school leftist. So it's about just people being able to get rid of the crappy ossified institutions that are ruining everything. Like, I think if you're a leftist or a right winger, there's nothing. TradPub offers you nothing really. Like, they can't even sell books themselves anymore. So,
Oh, what are you talking about? They sell so many copies of Dune, man. They're moving so many copies of the Lords of the Ring.
Which you've been selling for how many years now?
Literally, go put their interviews. We go, publishing's better than ever. We're selling millions of copies of Game of Thrones. That's how they measure themselves. There's self-help books, politician books, pornography for women, uh, and then like these all-time classics they keep propping up because people don't know how to find other books. It's not new releases. They have nothing for new releases, and they don't care.
Well, but the problem is like when you opt out of doing that system, you have a lot more freedom. But the problem that you run into is that the new system is not developed. Like you don't have all of the layers of support staff. Like the part of the thing that was nice
Right?
about going,
You don't
Tim,
have
was like
member.
you was going and having a marketing team. You know, like their all only job is to go and sell you to people and introduce you to people. And you know, other than people
Yeah,
like
pass and
me and
market in
like
bookstores.
and if you know Tyler, you know, he's more in the comics manga area, stepping in to try and like at least in our little way help people find the ways that they can go out and actually connect and meet people. And the one thing I do think we all at least have is that being a creative one way or another, like the rules don't change a whole ton. It's just where do you find the people? Like as a YouTuber, bottom line is that you're building an audience, and you're trying to connect with people. Same thing with your writing. So at least at least the rules don't change too much from one field to the next. Like I actually come from music. That was my background. And so after years of performing in bands doing nothing, I decided I had to go and learn marketing because I was tired of playing to empty rooms and needed to get people out to the damn shows. And as a lifelong, you know, reader and science fiction horror fan, you know, I decided to kind of start paying it forward, whatnot, and help in the small ways that I can. And by no means am I like the end all be all. I've got like some LA publicist friends that I'm like, I don't even understand the craft that they do at their level. But there's like psychological things that I can help small creators work with. Um, now, that said, what are the big things? I guess the biggest hurdles that you've found jumping into the self publishing scene.
So I, to be fully honest, I think the biggest hurdle, or perhaps the biggest danger, is learning when you are getting toxic positivity. People that are being supportive of you because they like you and are basically blowing air up your skirt and saying, "Yeah, your book's great," when it's actually not that good. My first book has a lot that's good about it. And you know, when you can say that there are things good about a book, that instantly puts it in like the top 25%, right? But my book had problems, and nobody was pushing back on me when I went to go publish that because I was potentially talking to the wrong people. I'm still mostly happy with my first book, uh, but if I had stuck out for like one more iteration, I would have launched with a much stronger material.